Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Breaking Through by Francisco Jimenez, narrated by Robert Ramirez. This work is copyrighted 2001 by Francisco Ramirez. This recording is copyrighted 2003 by Recorded Books.
There is at bottom only one problem in the world. How does one break through? How does one get into the open? How does one burst the cocoon and become a butterfly? Thomas Mann, Dr. Faustus. Forced out. I lived in constant fear for 10 long years, from the time I was 4 until I was 14 years old. It all started back in the late 1940s when Papa, Mama, my older brother Roberto, and I left El Rancho Blanco, a small village nestled on barren, dry hills several miles north of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, and headed to California, hoping to leave our life of poverty behind. I remember how excited I was making the trip on a second-class train traveling north from Guadalajara to Mexicali. We traveled for 2 days and nights. When we arrived at the United States-Mexico border, Papa told us that we had to cross the barbed wire fence without being seen by la migra, the immigration officers dressed in green uniforms. During the night, we dug a hole underneath the wire wall and wiggled like snakes under it to the other side. "If anyone asks you where you were born," Papa said firmly, "tell them, Colton, California. If La Migra catches you, they'll send you back to Mexico." We were picked up by a woman whom Papa had contacted in Mexicali. She drove us for a fee to a tent labor camp on the outskirts of Guadalupe, a small town on the coast. From that day on, for the next 10 years, while we traveled from place to place throughout California, following the crops and living in migrant labor camps, I feared being caught by the Border Patrol. As I got older, my fear of being deported grew. I did not want to return to Mexico because I liked going to school, even though it was difficult for me, especially English class. I enjoyed learning, and I knew there was no school at El Rancho Blanco. Every year, Roberto and I missed months of school to help Papa and Mama work in the fields. We struggled to make ends meet, especially during the winter when work was scarce. Things got worse when
Sample complete. Ready to continue?